The Frozen North, episode 69, Toe to Toe.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode number 69 of the Frozen North Gaming Podcast. My name is JJ and I'm here with my two friends, Brian.
Hey guys, Brian here, signing in for this week's Frozen North podcast.
And Mark.
I'm also signing into the Frozen North podcast.
Are you though?
This week.
That's it. That's all you got. No howdy y'all on this one. This is a special day.
Someone was... Howdy y'all!
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Gotta have it.
Unbelievable.
Can't go without it.
You might hear a little bit of background noise in here, and that's because we are recording from SoPro again. They're doing their grand opening.
Grand opening at SoPro.
It's so grand.
They are having a Smash Brothers tournament right now, and it is exciting. How many people are here? Like 80?
I don't know about 80, but
50?
I mean, I'd say at least 40, 50, yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
There's a lot of people over on the other side.
Watching. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. They got all the games streaming on their TVs all over the place. People are sitting in couches watching. And
Playing that Smash Bros.
it's pretty cool because it's just great to see that many gamers in one place.
Oh, yeah.
It's freaking cool as hell. So, SoPro Gaming doing their grand opening not this weekend, but they started Thursday and then Friday and then today.
Yeah.
But it's a good time.
Oh, yeah. We just recently were in a lock-in last week.
Me, Brian, and Brian's brother Kyle, we were here overnight. Was it Friday night?
Friday night into Saturday, or it was Friday night into Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most people, I think, were playing League of Legends.
I saw a lot of mixture, though. I saw League of Legends was definitely the majority. Mm-hmm. I saw some Heroes of the Storm.
Yep.
Some World of Warcraft.
Yep.
And then, of course, me and my brother.
We just steamrolled Final Fantasy XIV
sure did.
like crazy all night. But I was surprised at how many people were coming up and just being like, "Oh, you guys are playing 14? How's the new expansion?" Just talking to us about it.
A lot of people played it, and a lot of people who hadn't played it are like, "Dude, this game looks amazing."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
pretty
fun.
sweet. And then I actually saw I'll mention this now because I didn't see it in your news notes, but I saw that Final Fantasy XIV hit 5 million registered accounts.
I didn't actually see that.
Now, that's not active users
Right.
necessarily, but that's still pretty impressive as far as registered accounts. I would imagine probably 40% of those are gold farmers and that kind of stuff, but still, there's not many MMOs that have, a million plus.
I mean, as WoW declines, the gamers are looking for other avenues.
Definitely. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that pretty much tells you what I've been playing. Final Fantasy XIV, again, pretty much exclusively.
Yep.
I haven't really done much
It's just
else.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian?
I Final Fantasy XIV, and I actually decided. I thought I was really close to beating The Witcher 3, and I'm pushing through that. I'm a little further out than I thought I was, but I'm really glad I'm back. I mean, I'm really glad I'm doing it because, oh man, as you play it, it just gets better and better. And wow, it's just the best looking game. I'm going to say this right now, as it stands, and I haven't played the ending yet. It's my game of the decade. It's going to take a real tough this decade. So 2010 to 2020, if the decade is 10 years. I haven't played a game like this in years.
We were, I was playing. We were all at home, but I was playing 14, and Brian was playing The Witcher, and I think Kyle was on 14 as well. And all of a sudden, I get this Facebook message from Brian saying, "Dude, the ending cinematic to The Witcher 3 is amazing. Yeah. It's one of the best I've ever seen. Seriously." And I'm like, "Oh,
the ending
cool.
sequence,
nice."
yeah.
And then he goes, "Hold that thought. I just opened up a new storyline. That wasn't the end."
It was this huge battle, and it's like wrapping up like a typical movie would, right? You pull out from the ashes, and then all of a sudden, like this huge revelation gets rocked on you, and it's like a whole other arc just grows out of it, and you're like, "Oh, maybe not." It was quite. I got goosebumps when it happened. I was like, "Okay, I'm still going."
Yeah,
Holy moly!
So that's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty stellar as far as if you like your games long.
Yeah.
Apparently that's one to go for.
You bet.
Mark, what about you?
Well, I was playing a little bit of PlanetSide 2 and I finally rage quit and just deleted the whole thing because I cannot do it
On your PC?
on a PS4.
Why didn't you tell me you were playing?
So I didn't think I was going to be playing for much longer.
Oh man, I would have played with you.
I don't like it.
First person shooters. On
I
the
really
console look
need a mouse and keyboard for this game because I suck with a mouse and keyboard, but I really suck with a controller.
tough. And that's shared throughout most gaming. I think it's tougher to be a first person
Like
shooter on
my gap though in skill is much wider.
that gap.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's a game that's built for gamers, so there's your first obstacle.
Oh yeah, I mean understandable. I am planning to reinstall it and start playing it on the PC again.
There you go.
You
a
should,
fun
you should
game.
join me.
JJ,
On
did-
PC, I have
Yeah.
it on PC.
Random,
Nice.
random tangent. Did you ever get Windows 10?
I want to talk about it.
Oh my god.
When I was setting up my computer here, we're in the back office here, and at SoPro Gaming.
Hey, all right.
And Lee, one of the owners, actually he'll be on later to talk to us. He was helping me get everything set up and stuff, and showing me where to plug in and where to set my monitor and box and all that stuff. And the screen pops up, and he looks and he goes, "No Windows 10 yet?" And I go, "I don't want to talk about it." And he was like, "Have you registered for it?" I was like, yeah, I did. He goes, "That's weird because I, just registered for it last week and they gave it to me like right away." And I'm like, dude,
That's amazing.
this is not cool. Like
Not cool.
everybody I know has it. Every time I click on that stupid little symbol, it just says, "All right, we'll let you know when it's ready." I'm like, everybody else is,
I want.
dang it.
Okay,
No.
well, that was random tangent of
So
the
no, I don't have Windows 10 yet.
day.
Whoops.
You jerk.
Damn it.
I've also been playing Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Oh,
Okay.
you did start playing it.
I think I'm probably close to being done.
Wow.
First thoughts. It's out on the PC too, right?
I don't
I think
believe
it's
so.
just PS4.
Yeah.
Just PS4.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure it's exclusive.
Oh,
Because
cool.
it was Sony Santa Monica helped them design it.
That's right.
So
First thoughts, because I probably want to pick it up. Give me some first impressions.
it's like a longer version of Dear Esther with better graphics.
Did you find the run button?
I did. It helps a lot.
Gotcha.
I'm actually Shanna's getting pretty frustrated watching me play the game because there's this ball of light that kind of says, "Follow me. I'll show you."
I mentioned that to
interesting
you, yeah.
stuff." Yeah, but I'm like, nope. I haven't been in this building yet. I'm going in that building. I'm going to check every room in that building. I'm going to go in the backyard. I'm going to go in the neighbor's backyard. Shanna's like, just get to the next part.
That's.
But-
I mean, that was the one of the complaints I saw from the review was like, there's this ball of light that tells you where to go, and it's kind of annoying. So it's kind of like giving you direction, but at the same time, you're like, well, I'm supposed to be doing what I want to do, so I'm going
Yes.
to ignore it. But it's still going to pop up and tell you where to go.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And,
I don't know. If you can
it-
ignore it, then
The
whatever.
game is definitely designed to feel really linear, but there are all these little connections, and you could skip like entire areas and just go to the end really fast if you wanted to. So it's interesting. It's,
How's the story?
the story, I don't fully understand yet, but the voice acting, the dialogue, everything is incredible.
So you think it's like a lot like Dear Esther, where you kind of have to piece everything together yourself?
Sort of. It's a little
Interpretive?
bit more direct
Okay.
than Dear Esther because they're dealing with some kind
That's
of
good.
like phenomenon that happened in a town.
Well, everybody's gone to Rapture. Duh.
Yes.
Oh, spoiler!
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
But so yeah, it's not quite as abstract. It's pretty solid.
Awesome.
Okay,
Cool.
sounds good.
What's the price tag on it?
It's like
What I paid,
15 bucks.
15 or
Not
20
bad.
I think
bucks.
it's
really not
15.
bad.
I think it's $14.99.
It's really not bad.
So, well, how would you know? You haven't played it yet.
Well, no, it's a really not bad price.
You're not a bad.
Well, I mean, it is only like 5 hours.
Right.
So
So I'm saying if you told me 60,
no wonder it's taking you so long to beat it.
if you would have told me 60 hours or $60, I'd have been like, nope, no way. But it's
For a 5-hour game.
Yeah, it's a good price.
That's some good price.
Some good price. You can tell me a good price. I love you. Thank you.
All right. You know what? We got a really good email that I want to read, and it's really long, but it's so good that I don't care. I want to read it.
All right.
And I've already talked to him a little bit, and responded, and he responded back again, and I will respond to him again, hopefully before this episode comes out. This comes from Martin over in the United Kingdom,
ooh,
across the Atlantic.
That's in Africa.
That is nope. That's not in Africa.
It's somewhere there.
Not even.
somewhere there.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Okay.
Wow.
It's off the coast of Alaska. I'm sorry.
the British Empire stretched from what's the old saying? the sun never
Is there a
sets.
saying
no,
about the
there is a
British
saying
Empire?
that the sun never sets on the British Empire.
Martin, I'm so
That's
sorry.
true.
about
That's
these
a
two
saying
guys.
that has been said.
I apologize sincerely to you.
He's going to email you back and tell you that is a thing that has been said.
He's going to email me back and say, like, I stopped listening because you guys are morons. Well, I guess if he hasn't realized that by now, then
Yeah.
he probably would have.
If he listens to the show, he knows full well what he's doing.
All right, here we go. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read the end, which is the most important part, and the only, that's where the Brian hate mail is.
Yes.
So, no, I'm kidding.
Oh.
All right, so
We'll get there.
he says, "Hi, this email is way, way overdue. I've intended to write you for pretty much 2 years now, but my crippling fear of penning something inadequate has always stayed my hand. Like with Bilbo and his inability to stab CGI creatures in the neck. Oh, good. 2 sentences and already Tolkien. Tolkien, right? Not Tolkien.
Tolkien. You're not Tolkien, you're Tolkien. Although some might
You don't say Tolkien. Tolkien.
some might say Tolkien was Tolkien, so I mean.
Strong start. He says, I've been listening to the Frozen North since JJ's mail was read out on RPG Cast back in 2013. Wow, has it really been 2 years already? Since
Yes,
that?
it has.
It's been, yeah.
I still listen to them too, like to get all my RPG news. I have yet to find any written website or anything like that that has as much info so far in advance as them. It's awesome. rpgamer.com. All right. Been listening to Frozen North since JJ's email was read out on RPG Cast back in 2013, which I guess makes my radio silence all the worse, particularly given how much enjoyment the show has given me since then. I'd recently moved into a new house at the time, and TFN quickly became the soundtrack to my steaming and stripping of wallpaper and the painting of way, way too many walls and skirting boards. Various sections of my PC room carpet still bear the gloss-stained scars of involuntary laughter at Brian's Morse code Renaissance sound effects. It's actually Mark's. I didn't realize that, but it's actually Mark that did the Morse code thing.
Mm-hmm.
Brian just
High tech.
has never let it go.
High tech, guys.
In fact, something about the podcast has apparently become synonymous in my mind with menial household labor, because your show continues to be my go-to podcast to listen to whilst mowing the lawn, vacuuming the house, and washing the dishes. To this day, I can't snap on a pair of rubber gloves without screaming, "Howdy, y'all!" Which, to be fair, is probably why my wife has become so afraid of me. See what
Solid.
you've done? See what you've done, Mark?
Helping people out.
His wife is terrified because he does that now. Unbelievable. He says, tiny bit about me because not interesting. UK-based, 32, lifelong gamer, lover of story-based games. I like to think that I fall nicely within your demographic.
I should point out that it says in the text not interesting. That wasn't JJ saying not interesting.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad. Oh, now I feel like a jerk. I wouldn't even think of that. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
He says, I like to think that I fall nicely within your demographic, except for the UK-based bit based on JJ's reaction to the Stanley Parable's British narrator. I will say, and I pointed this out to him, and he was like, oh, my bad, wrong one. Because I do like the Stanley Parable's narrator. Everything else about that game is garbage. 100% garbage.
False.
Terrible.
Inaccurate.
Worst. Wouldn't
Best.
even call it a game at all.
It's
Better
opposite.
than
Not
the
even a
game.
little.
It's obviously opposite day.
Terrible. Okay, so you guys are saying it's good then? Is that right?
Stop.
But yeah, that I freaking love. The only British accent that I can't stand is hearing Ryan from Xenogears over and over say, "It's Ryan time!" And good thing I'm here. No? Anyone? That makes me want to...
Did you say Xenogears?
Xenoblade? Did I say Xenogears?
No, you said,
Yes.
you might have. You might have. I don't know.
Well, I meant Xenoblade.
Rewind time.
I knew what you meant.
Rewind time.
I can't do that.
Okay, well.
I wish I could. Anyways, so this email's taking way longer than it should have. He says, I've listened to every single episode of the show, albeit in various states of sobriety. Nice. But I can't recall if any of you guys have ever played Thomas Was Alone. If not, I strongly recommend it. The emo-esque title put me off for a good while, but once I played it, I fell completely in love. It has beautifully fleshed out characters, simple but satisfying gameplay, and a charming, surprisingly touching tale expertly told by a British narrator. Then he says, well, I guess at least 2 of the hosts might enjoy it. I will enjoy it, promise. I've been wanting to play Thomas Was Alone. It's only like 3 hours long, so
I think I own it.
Mark might even get to finish it in a year.
Snap.
So the look on his face, he's just like, hey. But yeah, it actually seems like it'd be a pretty sweet game, and I've heard really good things about it. That's definitely something I'm going to be checking out at some point. He says, here's some ammo to throw back at me. I was brought up on the Sega side of the tracks. Hopefully that can be forgiven. While I'm in the same boat as you guys now with an appreciation of games in general, I've always enjoyed hearing of your childhood and teenage gaming experiences, since mine were largely tinted with blue instead of red. You know what? I'm glad he said that, because you guys always hate when I want to do like stories and reminiscing and stuff like that, and I'm all like, but it's fun.
Why do we hate
like
that?
doing that? Because you guys always are like, we don't have any good stories.
That's what actually happens is we say, yeah, we can do that, and then we tell stories that you don't like, and then you yell at us. That's what happens.
You know what? That's because I tell you to bring up a Christmas memory, and your Christmas memory is I had to wait an extra month for
I'm
my
going to give
Xbox.
you a real Christmas memory.
Do it!
A real gaming
now.
Christmas memory.
Go ahead.
Mark, go play with your cousins. Turn off the Nintendo.
Oh, that's a good one. Yep.
I don't have any response for that. Honestly, though, that's better than I had to wait an extra month for my Xbox. Still,
That was a harrowing experience.
I'm just saying.
He was traumatized.
I'm just saying.
That's
Oh my
that's,
god!
that's when I became a man.
Mark, go play with your cousins.
When I learned
Turn off
that the world
Nintendo.
wasn't all magical.
Touche, sir. You know what? This guy actually, like, his email is so very well put together. He's just a good writer. I just wanted to say that. Martin, you're a fantastic writer, bro. All right. Where was I? As you're probably aware, in Europe we received a raw deal with RPGs for a long time, with Final Fantasy VII being a significant waymarker as the first officially released FF title, and one that seemed to open the floodgates for titles past and present. I didn't realize that. Like, I mean, I know that we and Japan obviously get stuff, some stuff in advance and everything like that, but I didn't realize, like, it was that
maybe
drastic.
Maybe it had to do with the UK market just not being very receptive. Going on, I think
know.
of.
I don't like that excuse, though. Like, I mean, you could be right,
Right.
but at the same time, I've always felt like it's one of those situations where, like, how do you know if they're receptive or not if you're not sending the stuff there to find out?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
I think they had the consoles. Obviously, they just had a lack of RPGs, and it seems like that Japan was a little nervous about the install base. Maybe I have no idea. I'm completely speaking out of conjecture here, but that's
Just
what
localization costs,
yeah,
probably.
I mean, it's expensive to export things, and you want to make sure that it's going to be lucrative. I don't know. It could be something completely different, but that's my only guess. Because the console market almost completely crashed in the United States after the whole debacle of the Atari bullcrap that went on with ET and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it completely destroyed the console market. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, but conjecture will be conjecture.
True enough. All right, he says, I've since gone back and played most of the classic venerable titles from the NES and SNES eras, but I always find it interesting to hear the glowing responses to titles such as Final Fantasy VI, which I respect and appreciate, but struggle to feel myself. While I love this, because this is like such an old school part. He says, while certain brothers may poignantly exclaim simply, Opera House,
Oh, man, he's really listening to the show.
my thought processes are more along the lines of, how come there's an NPC that looks identical to Celeste in a world where 95% of the population share the same 3 sprites? And was classic operatic performance and vocal coaching part of the basic Magitech Knight training? And how many nights are they going to keep allowing this random lookalike pseudo-understudy to screw up the show's lyrics before the negative publicity sinks the business for good? Like, well...
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I told him the same thing. I was like, as moving and gorgeous as that part is, that was some weird thing that always stuck out in my mind was like, Celeste just walks in and all of a sudden she's an opera star.
Yeah.
Like, she knows how to sing in this voice and act and do all it. Like,
She's got...
you know what? The music's good, though.
She's
Whatever.
infused with
Movie magic.
Magitech.
Yeah.
So, yeah, oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine
She's got those espers built into her.
Yeah, she's got all that.
She has those espers built into her.
She's got, she went in the thing.
Wow, did you ever play the game?
She had the thing that Kefka had, but they did it better on her.
Well, he was the guinea pig.
He was the first.
right.
Yeah.
He was the first.
Jeez, he says, that might be bait, but who knows? Certainly not me. Anyway, positive comment time. For me, while your show began something of an enjoyable curio, it has quickly worked its way up the ranks and is now comfortably the podcast I most look forward to listening to. You got to branch out, man, because we are not the pinnacle of podcasting by any means. I'm just saying. Mark maybe, but not,
Yeah,
not me.
Mark. Give Mark that one.
It says, nowadays it seems there's so much cynicism and negativity in the video game community, and I really enjoy hearing your genuinely enthusiastic, knowledgeable take on the industry.
JJ, who's just talking to you only,
Yes.
obviously.
I am not knowledgeable in the industry. That's why I have Brian do the news notes because I don't know where to look. Post like I
Reddit.
said, I get like RPG news from RP Gamer,
Yeah.
and that's where I get most of my news from. Unless you guys link me something or I see something on one of my Facebook feeds, I have no idea like what sites are.
Whenever I link you
credible, where to
something, you
look.
just say, nope, says City Skylines in it. I'm not clicking on that.
That's because you link everything with city skylines, and normally it's a screenshot of your city, and it's like that's not news, Mark. That is not
It's
news.
news to me.
I still remember he goes, guys, I figured out that loop, and it was just a little traffic loop. And we were
Like,
I was like,
that's
no.
not.
That
Nope.
was legit.
Not what we are talking about. It's not going on the news this week, Mark. No. Both past and present, to such an extent that your announcement of returning to the bi-weekly format after a period of weekly episodes was quite saddening. Although completely understandable, life happens. Yeah, I mean, we would love to do it weekly. I would certainly love to do it weekly, but there's just so much. Mark is engaged and going to be getting married soon. He's got that going on. Brian has a girlfriend that he lives with who,
Stepkids.
with, what, 3 kids?
Three girls.
Yeah. So I mean, and
busy
then
life.
I'm back in school along, and we all work full-time jobs as well. So it's like,
We would want to. We have a blast doing it, but like life gets in the way. and-
right. There's just so much going on at this point. But maybe sometime in the future, when I've got a year left in school, and Mark is getting married this year, later this
October.
year. So we'll talk about it.
Sure.
And we'll see what happens. But again, Mark also has his own show that he does too, the Fool's Lantern. So it's just something we'll have to look into. He says, "Well, wow, I was going to talk a bit about Suikoden, but I threw way more into this mail than I intended. Sorry, I do ramble. So the too long didn't read version, if people still use that acronym, you guys are awesome. Please keep up the great work and keep on gaming." And he says, "Am I allowed to say that, or is that trademark now? In which case, carry on recreationally pursuiting."
That's actually
Touche.
touche.
And then he says, "P.S. I'm only doing this to ongoing requests for hate from the man himself. So with the greatest of respect,"
Yes.
in all caps, "Brian is a rubbish idiot, bald and rubbish, which is British for trash, which means rubbish. And 108 is definitely the perfect number of party members." And then he put in, yeah, but then he put in parentheses, "if spread out over 17 games."
Oh,
Incorrect.
First of
Got
all,
that dig at Mark right there, too. That's great.
that was fantastic hate mail because it dug at me, and then you have to get that shadow dig at Mark.
Yep. And he
gotta-
said, "Cool beard, though."
Thank you. Thank you.
Martin, thank you so much, man. That's seriously that was a fantastic
Yeah.
email. We've I've talked to you a little bit since then, but I just wanted to read it on the air because I thought it was so cool.
It's good- it
That was
a great
fantastic.
email. And the Brian hate mail is great. Love it. Send it in.
I think we need to all get shirts that have our logo on
And
it.
it says Brian is
And
rubbish.
no, it says better than menial household labor.
Yes.
Yes. Touche. Oh man, but yeah, thank you again so much, man. If you would like to email us, please do so at frozennorthpodcast@gmail.com. Our website is at fngaming.net. Our Facebook is facebook.com/thefrozennorth. Our Twitter is at fnpodcast. We have a blog at frozennorthpodcast.blogspot.com, and we're on iTunes, where we would appreciate you subscribing to us
And remember,
and rating us.
I'm very hateable, so please send that hate mail in. Bonus points if you shadow dig at Mark. So in my hate
That
mail,
was pretty sweet.
if you shadow dig at Mark, bonus points.
Brian, we got some quick news.
Yeah, I'm going to gloss over this. Strap in for the news speedway because we're going to speed on through this
I
because
like that.
we're short on time. First, Grandia 2 HD edition. It's getting a name change, a release date, and it's a discounted price now. It's a remaster, if I believe I'm reading the article correctly, and it is going to be released. It's the anniversary edition. It's going to be released at the limited time sale price of $14.99 on both Steam and goodoldgames.com. Discounted from the regular $19.99. It's a classic JRPG. Well, I wouldn't say classic. It came out in the PlayStation era, I believe. Or Grandia 2 was PS2.
PlayStation or PlayStation 2,
Right.
one of the two.
Jump on it. It's a great $14.99. Kind of one of those prices where it's like, okay,
It's a
the
good
amount
game.
of game. Yeah. Okay, and shifted in the second gear. Boom! Next story is Konami surveying gamers for their favorite Konami classic IP. If you head over to mobilesurvey.blicx.com, you can take a survey which basically has a bunch of their classic IPs. They want to know which is your favorite. You can also find a link at the Suikoden Revival Movement website. A lot of rumors to why they're doing this. I think they're trying to gauge what is a valuable IP, what's a not valuable IP. They might be selling them off. So get Suikoden sold off to a company that cares.
Yes.
Please.
Ooh.
So get in there and tell them.
Highly hypothetical. What Brian's saying.
It's that's my theory only. They could be just doing it for fun. They could also be wanting to make a game. Highly unlikely because it's Konami, but go over there, get that survey
Speaking of
done.
Shadow Digs.
Yeah, go over there, get that survey done. It's nothing but just information for them. Hopefully, if you do that, you'll get entered into a drawing to get a voucher worth a total of $200. That's what it says. It's a voucher worth total of $200, but I think it's like several vouchers. So, but still, free money is free money. And shifting to third gear. Whoa! Next article.
Amazing.
Nintendo is open to movie adaptations, says Miyamoto. I have a picture of the old Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo and the other guy.
You can just Google it.
Yeah,
those of
and
you who don't.
all I wrote was, "Are you sure about that, Nintendo?" And I think what I mean is Nintendo should probably have a little bit more creative control if they are going to option their properties, because that movie was horrible. So, just that said, we might be seeing a Zelda movie come down the line, a Kirby movie.
They're probably going to try to innovate. You can now watch Mario Brothers with motion controls.
Yes, please raise your hand if you want Mario to jump. And the last bit of news, fourth gear. Mark is going to now play Dota 2.
Nope.
If you do play Dota 2 and you love the show Rick and Morty, they are releasing an announcer pack. Rick and Morty
If only it was a different game.
I know. So Mark is now going to play Dota 2. You heard it here first, folks.
Let's watch a video and see all the cool stuff they say.
Okay. Rick and Morty is a good show,
Ruining your news.
according to Mark.
There's one more news thing that you forgot to mention.
And? Should we go to fifth gear. Go to fifth gear.
And that's all we have for news.
Cities Skylines After Dark is officially coming out in September for $14.99. That's all.
There's a reason why I didn't put that on the news.
Because you didn't read the news.
No, I definitely saw that.
Because nobody wants a game where you're the mayor.
There's an entire subreddit of people who want and play that game.
How many accounts did you make for that?
I don't know, man. It's a lot.
And that's
Oh,
it for
man.
news, guys. We crossed the finish line in record time. Congratulations.
Ran out of gas.
Oh, boy. Well, as we said, we are recording from SoPro Gaming at their grand opening today. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to get Lee and Tony in here, two of the owners. We talked to him last time, a few episodes back, about SoPro and what they kind of expected, and we're kind of just going to check in with them and see how things are going. So Mark's going to hop out here, and then Brian and I will sit down with them, and, well, through the power of editing, let's head on over.
Alrighty.
All right, Mark has stepped out of the room, and Brian and I are here with Tony and Lee of SoPro Gaming. Welcome back, guys.
Thanks for having us, and hello, Kansas City.
How's it going, guys? It's great to be back.
All right. Well, I mean, we've been freaking gaming all day today, pretty much. You guys had your Super Smash Brothers tournament going on, and how was the turnout?
Amazing. Couldn't be happier. We had, I want to say, upwards of 50 actually entered to the tournament, and singles went real smooth. It really did. We were as soon as somebody was done, we were sitting them right back down to the next group. It went real well, man. Now we're doing doubles. Still in the middle of that. It's wrapping up here towards the end. Everybody seemed to be pretty happy with the door prizes and the overall turnout. It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was. I always like, because I mean, I've been here for a few of the tournaments you guys have had, and I love being able to look up and see the brackets on the TVs.
Mm-hmm.
You guys just display those all over the place. I think that's so cool, just because it makes everything seem way more professional than going over to your buddy's
Legit.
living room.
Get that dry erase board.
Right,
Tournament
exactly.
style.
Yep. So, I mean, we'll just get right into it. What's SoPro been up to since we last talked to you guys?
Tournaments, man. We had our first lock-in. It was a blowout. It was from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., and we even had some people stay all the way till 8 a.m. We had some troopers.
Brian and I stayed till, what, 7:15?
7:30, 7:15.
This is
Yep.
so close.
We were
Nice.
Kyle and I were just so hungry. We were like, I just got to go eat something, man.
I was just
Yeah.
tired. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Champagne breakfast for the next one, right?
Yeah,
That was a good time though.
it was really fun.
Yeah, it was a blowout, and we've had some very successful tournaments. Our Hearthstone tournament.
Oh yeah, I was here for that.
Our buddy Ron actually went all the way to the Fireside Gathering to the actual championship. We got to watch him on stream a
was
little
on
bit
earlier
this
today,
morning. It was definitely cool, and they were talking about Kansas City, about how he put on an actual LAN out here in KC.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool to get
Awesome.
that shout out.
Heck yeah.
Wish he would have gone a little farther, had a little better luck, but we still love him and couldn't be happier, man.
You went farther than I sure could have.
Yeah,
for sure.
I still have like old school decks. I don't even know what's good anymore.
Well, we wanted to see him win it, of course.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
he's
One of
our
the-
boy.
One of the coolest things about that was when we were testing the Twitter feed and everything else for our tournament. I played him a couple of rounds, and now every once in a while, if he's on, I'll play him a little bit, and it makes you feel good to know you kind of like the the second or maybe eighth string that's been beat by him every last single time.
So when you play against him, you like
He doesn't cheat like you, yes.
that is one time I cheated. One time, and it's because
You'll never live that
you know
down
what?
now.
He went to go take
Tom
care of a
Brady,
customer.
Tom Brady,
I-
Tom Brady.
But do you ever play against him, and then I would assume he probably wins?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Do you
All
ever
day, every day.
do you give yourself a pat on the back though? You know what? You just came in second place to one of the top players in the country, so that's not bad. That's what I would do.
I'm getting a T-shirt. It's going to have Sopra on the front.
Every time he takes off a bit of HP, he just gets up and does a dance.
You gonna start calling him Sensei?
Mr. Miyagi did. I got him down to 1 mana one of the first times we played.
No joke.
And then he walloped me by like 15, so he knew what he was doing.
He set you up for that almost win.
So he may
Right.
have done it on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Let him feel good. But his name's Captain Crunch. If anybody wants to look him up, I think he might do some streaming. I'm not sure, but if anybody was curious,
Really nice guy too. Okay, so as far as like business goes, and people coming in here, every tournament that I've seen, you guys have been absolutely packed. When you're looking at just the random people that are coming in and stuff, are there any certain games that stand out as opposed to others?
well, I don't know if it's a surprise, but League,
Right, yeah.
that's hands down the number one game everybody's playing in here. I would say close second would be Heroes for sure.
Really?
Yeah, Heroes of the Storm. MOBAs are in, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but people are loving them. So those are guaranteed the most popular, and then close third is CS:GO. That's if it's a first-person
I gotta
shooter,
get in
it's
here when there's
CS:GO.
people playing that because
So-
right now it's just me and bots. So, man, I gotta. You guys are having a tournament, aren't you? For that coming up soon, like in the next month or two.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I
And
might
we're
check
having a
that
lot
out.
more, man. I'd say number one I'm most excited about, and I'm a Heroes guy, but it's got to be the Minecraft Hunger Games style. Last man
Wow.
standing.
Oh, that's so
That
fun.
is awesome.
That's
Isn't
so
that
fun.
awesome?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to see how that all turns out.
Are you guys allowed to enter in that stuff?
The Heroes, I'm going to try. It all depends on the turnout. If
Yeah. If they
we
need a
have
spot.
exactly if we have a sick number of people in here where we're having to tell people, I'm sorry, we're full. No,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to play. But if I can squeeze in, I'm going to squeeze in.
I don't blame you.
I think JJ should enter that CS:GO.
JJ, would you like to join us for CS:GO? We'd love to have you.
I would. Man, it's like. Dang
Yes or
it.
no? Yes
like
or
I said,
no?
it's the one game that I'm like. See, this is what freaks me out. Is it's the one game that I know I'm good at, but I know that if I did
Prove
that,
you're good.
that's
at
the
that.
problem. Is I would have to. So if I did bad, then I'd be like, oh, now I'm not good at anything. I suck. Jeez,
You're good at a podcast.
you guys could ruin my entire heart and soul. Man,
You got to put it on the line, man.
I think
Show us what you got.
I would want a team though, unless it's
Of
not
course.
a one-on-one.
No,
is it?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. It's going to be 5-5. So
Yeah, I'd want
Hey,
to.
me and Mark will sign up. We'll really carry you.
You guys didn't do bad. We were playing earlier.
That's true.
You guys were what, 9-3 and
Right.
7-2, and then I was 26-4. Sorry, it's the one thing I can brag about. I can't say that enough. What about you guys? Have you guys, since you've opened this place, have you noticed that you yourselves play any new games?
Yes, and I mean,
Yes.
I'm not ashamed of playing. I'm ashamed of how much time I've spent.
Uh-oh. What?
Because I mean, I work here till close most nights, and so I'll go home and I'll catch myself staying up till 5 a.m. playing Hearthstone now.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
ever since the fireside gathering and really talking to these guys and finding out how, I guess, how much skill is really involved. Because I mean, from an outsider's perspective, before I actually invested a lot of time into the game, it's all about the cards. You got
Right.
the cards, you're
Right.
gonna win. But that's not the case.
No.
I mean, most they'll even tell you after you get so high in ranks, it's usually the same 5 decks. You're just always going to play against the same 5 decks all the time. But who comes out on top is all based of the combos, and the
Yep.
draws, and I mean, it's a skill-based game. So I'm really, really
That's
deeply involved in it. I guess you could say I'm almost a little bit too much.
Right.
So
No such thing. No such thing.
I have actually started playing Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, that's right. You were
And
saying that
Look
before.
at Tony,
Gamer.
gamer.
I've jumped
Addicted.
in. I've jumped in. I find myself loving it. So actually, on my nights off, I have actually come in here because my Apple wouldn't support what I have, and I'm loving it. It is a great game. Joined my first guild. I'm no longer. I've taken that. That was on my bucket list too, is to
Heck
be in
yeah.
a guild, and now I'm there and getting some great folks that are very helpful in the game, and some folks that aren't.
Oh, that's
this
the
is
life of the MMO.
I'd say this is his first MMO, dude.
I know.
So
it's a big step. And Knights,
Yeah.
Knights is a good one. It's free to play now, so
yeah.
great stepping stone, man.
And my character looks awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, it's all about that.
He's got the
looking
bug.
Good.
Dude, he got the lightsaber,
Yeah.
and he was so giddy. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
running around showing
Ran around the
everybody.
temple and I was swinging and swerving. I got my GoBot by me. I'm good.
Oh, plus it's Star Wars, so
Yeah.
I mean it's
I've always
You
been a
can't
Star
go wrong.
Wars geek, so
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. That's a game that I'd love to get back into eventually. I played it at launch and I quickly got to max level, and then I was like, all right. And then I've played so many MMOs, so it's like a lot of it is kind of just rehash things that I've done in other games. But from what I understand, they've added so much because Star Wars, I just want to be a freaking pilot, and they've added a lot more to the space from what I
It
understand.
takes time to get to be a pilot. I'm almost there though. So
Heck yeah. All right, cool.
Tony, I'm proud.
So when we were last here and we last talked to you guys, one of the biggest draws that we talked about was that SoPro could bring gamers to one centralized location to not only game together but also hang out and talk gaming with some people that they may not have otherwise talked to before. So far, have you guys noticed that this is the case? This is what's been happening?
It's so cool because, yes. Oh, it's so cool, especially when it happens. One night I was just working. It was kind of a slow night, but just in comes one guy. He's like, hey, I brought my own computer. I got a couple friends that are going to be coming. Okay, yeah, no problem. Never seen him before. He sits down. Of course, 2 more guys come in, so forth, and then they filled, and there's 5 of them. And I walk over. I'm like, so where are you guys from? I start talking to him. One guy's from Illinois. And another guy, I don't want to be incorrect here, but I want to say like Arizona.
Wow.
And there was a Wichita LAN for CSGO.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it was pretty big. Okay, so they all play together online, and they wanted to compete in that LAN. And it was the following day. So the night before, they all look and found a central location, which isn't too far from Wichita.
Wow.
And they met up here, and they practiced all night till close for the LAN the next day.
Wow.
So that
Awesome.
was awesome. I was like, that is
That's
why
fun.
we're here. Like, that is what I want to see. So that was super cool. I've seen guys come in, they're like, hey, I just moved here. I don't know anybody in town, or hey, I'm here for training, and I'm usually from Wichita or St. Joe, and I'm just down here, and I need something to do tonight. And they come in and they'll meet like 4 or 5 people, or another instance, I don't want to go on and on, but another cool thing is like parents. They bring their kid in, and they're like, I can't get him out of the house. You know what I mean? Like he sits in the basement all
Right.
night, and he talks
Yep.
to no one. And he's got all these friends online, but I want to get him out of the house. And like they come in and their eyes light up. Like this is where they want to be. And the parents are just so thankful. They're like, we want him here. Absolutely. We love this. We love that this will get him out of the house.
yeah.
This is something he's so into. And they want it. They want that. They don't want it to be wasting time doing nothing, playing video games. If he's
Definitely.
out here doing it and he's socializing and he's getting better and he's competing in tournaments, it's like it's a viable way to spend your time at that point. I mean, to some
Yeah.
of these parents. So that's cool. It really is. I mean, that's kind of why we're here. So
Absolutely.
On another side of that, for past meetups, there's a group of gentlemen that have known each other, been playing together. They're about your guys' vintage. They actually purposely, when they found out we were open, came in. Usually there's about 30 of them. 15 made it up at 8 o'clock in the morning, rented the space out, and just had a full game on. And you could tell they see each other about 2 times a year. And they were in town for the Comic-Con, but it was part of their regiment to get together
awesome.
and have a place to actually game. And when I asked, I thought, well, did you guys grow up together? Do you know? No, they met each other a long time ago gaming, and those relationships have still fostered. And it was great to be part of that here.
It's amazing to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know what? You'll probably find that in Star Wars. You'll meet people that you see online regularly, and you'll talk to them. And like I've met people outside of the game that I met in game, and it's so weird because you meet them for the first time outside of the game, and it's like you've known them for years, regardless. I mean,
yeah.
because you technically have,
Right.
But you're like, hey, you're not a 4'2"
You don't
elf
know
with
anything else,
and a
right.
blue hair.
You're not an undead warlock.
Yeah, right, exactly. I think that's so cool. I mean, perfect example. Like when we did the lock-in last week, Brian and I and his brother were playing Final Fantasy 14 the entire time, and I thought it was so cool that even though you had all these people playing League, all these people playing Heroes, and whatnot, people were still coming up and asking about the games that we were playing and still being like interested in what was going on. And we did the same thing, walked around and been like, how long have you been playing that, blah, blah, blah. And it just meeting people that you hadn't met before and most
right.
likely would not have because they'd be sitting in their basement doing this
Right?
stuff.
You
Right.
can't beat the social aspect of it, you know.
Yep,
You're in
100%.
your haven.
And it's incorrect to say that they're unsocial because it's it's false. I mean, I was shocked to know how many people are so brave that they'll walk up and tap somebody on the shoulder.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you would think they're really introverted and scared to initiate that conversation, and they're not. They're not. They're
No.
just like they're so desperate to play with somebody, and they just go tap them on the shoulder. Hey, you care if I get in that League game with you? So
yeah.
Yeah.
it's cool when that stuff happens. It really is. It's so awesome.
One more situation that
Yeah.
happened on a late night. One of our regulars that's here, plays League all the time, has a preference for a certain type of candy bar. He actually was sitting there playing, and usually if he's here later at night, he'll kind of stop and he and I talk a little bit. We might play some Mortal Kombat. I beat him once or twice, and, and now he's got everything unlocked, so he knows how to beat me a
Of
lot.
course.
But a gentleman came in. He was on his bike, literally just moved here for one of the bigger companies in their IT department, and that was his question. Is I heard about this place because of what we do for that particular company, sponsorship on a game night that they have a few times a year. And the funny thing was, all of a sudden, the ears of one of our regulars popped up about, can I meet anybody here? And they talked for like another hour and a half. I had to basically pass last call. And had to get them out. And then they were talking in the parking lot right before I left. So it's a good.
That's great.
And for somebody that's moved with a company before, it makes you feel good to have a connection with somebody
Absolutely.
before you actually kind of start trying to set your roots in a new place.
That's great. That's awesome. That's so good to hear. So, I mean, what's next for you guys? What's coming up? What plans do you have? That you can tell us, obviously.
I work tomorrow.
So that's the immediate future.
More events, more tournaments, more lock-ins. We got some stuff. I got some ideas. I don't want to spoil too much of the surprises, but we do have a list of tournaments that are coming up. Like we talked about. We talked about Heroes, CS:GO, the Minecraft. I'm drawing a blank, but they're out there on our Facebook page. You can check them out. More to come, man. Maybe some special nights. Fuel up Friday. Buy 3 hours, get a free energy drink is one of the ideas that we've
Awesome.
thrown around. So more events. Lots and lots of events. That's definitely what we want to focus on.
Awesome. I also noticed that your website has been revamped completely. I was looking at the other day because I was at work and I was trying to remember what time I was planning on coming up here, and I was like, I wonder what time the actual tournament starts. So I went to the website and I was like, whoa, that's different.
It doesn't say coming soon
Yeah,
anymore.
right. Yeah.
We have come.
we're here. It looks great.
Shout out to-
SoProGaming.com, obviously.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Dillard for that. By the way, he did a fabulous job. We actually have a game library on there. You can search for all of our games that we have in house. So there's no more questions, about what games you have. You can actually sign up right there on our website to get our newsletters. So any special events, discount rights or anything we're doing, it's going to be on there. So,
When am I going to get my StarCraft 2 lesson?
oh, you got time tonight?
I'm just wondering.
We here till 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh. I might have to take you up on that.
I'm down.
Oh man, I'm so terrible at it.
pool rush.
I can do that.
You're on your own
I can
on
do
that
that.
one.
But after that, if they block it, nope. That's it. Then I'm like, what are the other units again that Zerg has?
Hey,
I don't know.
six pool rush transition into 2 Roach. Okay,
Oh, nope.
I can show you how
Don't know
to
it.
6 racks rush.
there you go. That's six,
Six racks
dude.
rush?
Yeah.
Yep, it is a viable strategy, dude.
Six
Seriously, that
racks rush.
and I swear it was from a pro player that he actually did it in a tournament, and it's 6 barracks rush, and you actually cut off SCV production to keep it going, and you have 1 SCV to constant 1 left to make supply depot, and if you just queue it up, supply depot right after the next one, you can constantly produce out of 6 racks.
Oh my gosh.
It's a sick rush. If they don't scout it, it's GG.
Yes, sir. You in the front.
Yes, one of the things that's changed is I actually know what you're talking about now.
Hey,
Nice.
Tony's picking up the lingo.
Do you guys have anything you want to plug at all?
I'll leave that up to Tony. He's my man with the names. He's definitely got them.
And actually, we'll just we'd like to thank all our partners that have been helpful. Again, Monster and Red Bull both have been very helpful, along with Coca-Cola. Definitely just everybody that I've worked with so far when it comes to all our peripherals, all our chairs, everything. Everybody's been great. So when it comes to a plug this time, we plugged them last time. Some were just elated about it. Thank you again, and most importantly to our families for being so supportive, especially for a new member of our SoPro family.
That's right.
Nora
Yeah.
Lee had a little baby girl. And also,
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Chris Dillard just got married to a great young lady that
Congrats,
was
Chris.
out here taking pictures and just real good folks. And of course, as always, I'd like to thank my good friends from the Frozen North for spending time with us here,
Guys.
and making me laugh, but being so supportive. Hey, every tournament that you guys go to, we just love to see you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you guys listening, I know it's silly to plug these guys on their own show, but
I like myself on Facebook. I like myself on Facebook all the time. What are you talking about?
These guys are amazing.
Wait,
Yeah,
if you plug us on our own show, you're going to do you're going to undo everything that we've done to tell them how horrible
Yeah.
we are. So
these
Flattery
guys,
will not do.
these guys are amazing. The setup they bring out here, guys, to make this stuff happen is amazing, and they ask for nothing in return. And we couldn't be more blessed that they're actual local and they do this stuff for us. So please give them mad props for this.
And again, I don't know if you live around here. I know we have people overseas that listen. Just make a life decision. Move to Kansas City. I can't reiterate that enough. Move to Kansas City. This place is awesome. I know that I'm going to be looking at the schedule for many lock-ins. I love lock-ins. Any excuse to game all night is my thing. I love supporting SoPro. It's an awesome place. If you haven't seen it online, in person, it's even more glorious. I love it. It just feels like home in here.
yeah, I guarantee you, even if we didn't have this show, Brian and I would still be here on a regular basis. So 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are awesome. We really appreciate the kind words, and we definitely appreciate you guys taking the time out to talk with us again. I mean, I don't have anything else. Brian, you got anything else?
Nope. Just this place is awesome, and I plan on doing a lot of gaming here. That's for sure.
All right, sounds
And
good.
since you guys don't play anymore, Knights of the Old Republic, I'd be happy to take those credits off of your hands.
I don't even know
for
how many
any
I
good-
had.
We were both dark side, unfortunately.
Yeah, we were
He's
dark
already got his can out asking for credit.
Man.
You're going to fit right into it.
You are. Yeah, no
dude.
joke.
Oh, that is so perfect.
All right, Tony Lee, thank you again for hanging out with us, and we certainly look forward to the future of SoPro
Oh, yeah.
and what you guys are going to be doing for the gaming community here in Kansas City. Can't thank you enough for what you've already done, and again, we look forward to the future.
Here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to get Mark back in here, and we will finish up with our top 5 competitive games.
We will soldier on.
Here we go. All right, and we are back in the studio, I guess.
Technically,
same place.
This is a very studio-ish place.
Thank you again to Tony and Lee for coming out to talk to us. It's always good to hear what's going on at this place.
Yeah.
And
Place is fantastic. I urge all of our listeners. Is it Martin from the UK that we got the email from?
yes,
I urge you as well to go ahead and move your entire life to the Kansas City area, and either you can move to Kansas City, Missouri, or the Kansas side, and come to SoPro and enjoy this place. So anybody who lives far away, just throw your life away, move here, and enjoy SoPro.
And ignore the suggestion of Kansas City, Missouri. That's a joke.
Honestly,
suggestion.
if you live in Missouri, you made a bad decision. However,
oh boy,
I will accept it if you moved
Brian's
here.
thoughts and opinions do not reflect necessarily the thoughts and opinions of the Frozen North podcast
But yeah, this
itself.
place is.
I mean,
fantastic.
at least it's not Oklahoma.
Am I right?
Anyway, this place is so awesome. I love it here.
But yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see a place like this growing and
Yeah.
changing and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and can't wait to see what the future holds.
As you can hear, we got a SoPro tournament of Smash Brothers raging in the background.
Yep, still going on.
Yeah,
Top 5. Since we are at SoPro, we figured it would be only appropriate to do something to the effect of
broing out.
broing out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yo, bro, we're gonna bro out.
So this week, I apologize to all our story-focused listeners out there, which is probably 99% of you, which is probably about 4 of you.
Yeah, all 4 of you. Thank you for listening.
We are going to be doing our top 5 competitive games, and honestly, like, I think I've mentioned this earlier on an episode before. The show's kind of evolved a little bit as far as what our focus is. We still love talking about the stories in gaming and everything like that, and we were just talking about Final Fantasy 14 and The Witcher, for a while, a little bit ago, but it's really, I think the show has kind of more become about branching out and stepping out of your own little gaming bubble,
Right.
because, I mean, perfect example, I never would have played a game like Mass Effect if it weren't for this show. I never would have gotten into Heroes of the Storm. I probably never would have replayed through the Halo series again. All of these are things that I sure as hell do not regret.
Right.
Because they were all awesome games.
My JRPG completion output has increased by, I would say, 200% since I've been on the show. Seriously, before I'd be like 1 JRPG a year for me, because then I'd be like, okay, I'm spent. But you know, getting the ability to step out of your norm and experience something that you may not like, but realizing that, man, that's awesome. It's really been quite a treat. I don't know if I speak for myself and JJ and Mark. Because when Mark actually plays and beats a game, he's like, "Holy crap!"
Games are cool
Way out of
when
my,
you beat them.
That's way out of my comfort zone to beat a game, but I did it. Maybe we just find out, like, after like 2 more years of this, that Mark just hates credits and he just doesn't want to ever see credits.
I don't like.
I just
people who
don't
make
want it to
games.
end, so I just stopped playing.
People should not get their due credit.
That's right.
But any one of these games, I know that on my list, I still play all of them every now and then. So if these are competitive games.
Yep.
They're not going to be super story focused at all, but they're still a blast to play, and I urge you to give them a shot, even if you're not big into competitive games at all.
We're all experts at these games, right?
Heck no,
Nope.
not even close. But still like to have fun and play. And honestly, if you are just looking for people to play with, shoot us an email or something like that. I got no problem giving out my screen names on some of this stuff and playing with people a little bit.
Yeah.
I have an absolute blast doing that kind of stuff. So
Yep.
by all means, reach out to us.
Yes,
Mark, what's our email address?
Our email address is fngaming.net.
That's not even. Nope.
That's not
that's
even
not
our
it.
email address.
Wow. Brian, what's our email address?
FrozenNorthPodcast@gmail.com.
That's the one.
.net.
Mark. All right. Do we have any honorable mentions? Anybody?
Hold on.
Cities, skylines.
God,
Competitive.
not
In the least.
You know what? I do actually. Smash Brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. Smash Bros.
Is that on
Mario
anybody's
Kart.
list? Nope, it's not.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart's one.
Team Fortress Classic.
Team Fortress Classic,
The Warcraft series.
the Warcraft series, and I'll put StarCraft 1 on there. Mm-hmm. So a lot of
Absolutely.
honorable mentions in the competitive scene.
Yep. And you know what? Just because these are competitive games doesn't mean you necessarily have to play against other people. You can totally play the Halo
Right.
series as, single player campaign. Freaking Counter-Strike. I love that game, as you'll see. But I freaking play against bots just to get practice in, when I feel
Right.
like it. You don't necessarily have to play against other people just because it's a competitive game doesn't mean it needs to be competitive for
Right.
you. And you'll see that from my list. Most of these games are just games that I have fun with, playing alone or with friends. So, let's get started. Mine and Mark's number 5 is the same, and it is what, Mark?
The Halo series.
Right,
Woo!
but it shows up later on somebody else's list.
That's right.
So we'll talk about it then.
I wonder whose list it's on later.
Later. Brian, what's your number 5, sir?
My number 5 is a MOBA called Smite. I didn't play this one a whole lot. I only played it competitively probably for about a couple weeks. I mostly played against bots. The reason it's on my list, though, is it is a third-person MOBA. If you've played MOBAs, you know that most of them are isometric view, very similar to RTSs. I guess not isometric, it'd be top-down, as isometric is a fixed camera. Anyway, I digress. Smite is a third-person MOBA. It still has the lanes. It's got several different game modes, but the best part about it is it's basically you will play as one of the mythology's gods. So you've
No wonder
got
you like it so much.
exactly you've got Nordic myth, you got Thor, you got Odin,
Yeah.
you got Loki, you've
And
got
you got Jesus.
I
don't have
knew
any.
you were gonna say that.
There is actually, funny enough, there is no Christian characters, but that's because we got
Expansion pack.
you got ancient Egypt gods, you've got Mayan gods, you've got your ancient Greece, and then you've got your Nordic, and it just the subject matter is so cool, and they all have cool moves. They all feel awesome. I mean, that's why I picked it up because I saw the heroes. I was like, oh man. Anyway, so number 5, Smite.
All right. My number 4 is Heroes of the Storm, but yet again, it shows up later on somebody else's list. So we'll talk
Ooh.
about it then.
Hiss.
So apparently it's not Mark's list. Mark, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Supreme
Brian,
Commander.
what's your number 4? No, I'm kidding.
Supreme Commander
What
is
What?
the spiritual
So what game?
Supreme, like the nachos. Commander,
Never heard of it.
like the rank.
Never heard of it.
That's not you eating a chip.
I don't have any chips, so I'm just crinkling a bag.
So this game is the spiritual successor to Total Annihilation. Both games are designed by Chris Taylor, the legendary game designer. And this game is one of the first RTSs that had something called strategic zoom in it, which is, okay, I'm looking at the battlefield, I'm going to scroll out, and it's like the normal view and then the mini-map all in the same thing. You can go to any level of zoom you want to go to, see icons that have meaningful information in it, and you can have massive armies.
Didn't you mean Chris Schaefer,
No, yes,
legendary
Yeah.
game designer?
there you go.
David?
Schaefer.
David Taylor.
David Taylor.
Can't even get your own joke right.
Damn it.
But I mean, it's just in a time when RTSs are going more and more towards that focused, tight, small scale approach. I was really refreshed to get a game that was massive in scale. I don't recommend Planetary Annihilation, though. Sorry, guys. Whoops.
Haven't played it.
Never played
I
it.
don't
It's
know.
the
I have
spiritual
played
successor.
Supreme Commander, though, and I did like it. Played it with your brother quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a good game.
But it's just so slow paced for me.
That's our
Way
fault.
too much.
We always insisted on playing on the largest maps possible,
Yeah.
where you can load up a troop transport and it'll take 2 hours to get to the enemy base.
Insane. Okay, so that's Mark number 4, Supreme Commander. Brian number 4, sir.
My number 4 is a little online card game we all know and love, Hearthstone.
I had a hard time not putting this on my list.
Yeah, I don't really play it anymore because I've got another game that I like playing competitively. But man, it is such a Blizzard. I'll just say this: Blizzard is the best company at introducing me to new genres. It's very crisp, clean, tight, and the game is immensely popular now. Obviously, What else can I say about it? If you haven't played it, it's free to play. Download it and play Hearthstone.
Very cool.
Number 4.
Mark, number 3. You and I have the same one.
We do, but we play it on different platforms.
We do.
PlanetSide 2.
PlanetSide 2, yep.
By Sony Online Entertainment,
I call it Zoe.
which they got spun off, didn't they? Or they're going to? I don't know. But no, this is a massively multiplayer first-person shooter game, and I believe I remember reading about 6 months ago they broke the Guinness World Record for having the largest single battle with the largest amount of online players in it.
How many?
I think it was thousands,
Oh, my gosh.
like fighting over one tiny region.
That's
Did
so cool.
anybody get anything over 5 frames per second?
No, man. Sure. I don't know.
PlanetSide 2 is like literally a first-person shooter, but think of it in terms of the size and scope of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Where you've got an entire huge world map with continents and everything, military bases all over the place, and you were just fighting to take over these bases at any point.
Exactly.
Go anywhere you want to go, jump into any battle.
And you've got, like, each team has their main base that can't be taken over just because it's got, like, a shield over it. But the entire rest of the map is territory that's divvied out, and you can take over it. And taking over different types of bases will give your team different advantages. Like, it'll give you discounts on vehicles or weapons or what have you.
You level up and you gain access to different vehicles and different weapons. You eventually be able to like pilot ships and use the guns on aircraft. And I mean, my biggest fear when I first heard about this game was like, well, there were 2 fears that I had. One, I was like, well, as soon as one team gets dominant, it's just going to be, there's going to be nothing to do in half the world. It's going to be stupid. There's 3 factions, though. So there's always people going all over the place fighting, always. 2, there are some kind of slow places, but they have this thing called instant action, which is awesome. You hop into the game, you're in a spot where there's nothing going on, you're like, well, I really want to do something, I want to fight. Push instant action, and boom, all of a sudden your screen flies up and you get drop shipped right into where a battle's taking place.
That's cool.
So it's you can always do something in there, and it's
there's
it's so much fun.
all kinds of unique things to do too. Like you can be an engineer or a medic, or one of the best things, one of the best feelings I got in this game was when I got one of my faction's troop transport type ships and snuck it around the backside of an enemy base and put it in this valley and set it up to become a spawn point for my team.
Yep.
And every time someone spawns in, I get points for it, and I'm getting them in the backside of the base to take people out.
Well, I mean,
turning the tide of the entire battle.
One of the best parts about it for me is like you are like somebody spawns a like an aircraft, a jet or some kind of like big aerial station, and flies over, and they can like load up with other people. You've got like 6 guys that hop on, each one of them controlling a gun. You're basically flying in a freaking fortress that's shooting out at stuff.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
It's fantastic.
So it's a great game. We won't gush about it anymore. But I play on PS4. Mark plays on PC. I do play on PC occasionally. I haven't in a while because PS4 is just so much easier to access for me. But that's our number 3, PlanetSide 2. Brian, your number 3 is the same as Mark and I's number 5.
It's that Halo series, guys. That Halo series. I don't think there's a whole lot we got to say about it.
That Halo series?
That Halo series, guys.
It involves a Master Chief.
Halo is the game that put Xbox on the map.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down. And it's because of the multiplayer. Yep. That's what it's known for. It's solid. It's good. Now, question for you guys, though. Because my initial reaction was to put Halo 2 down. Because that's the one that I played the most of.
Yeah.
If you guys had to pick a game out of the series that you like the most as far as, playing competitively.
I hear lots of criticism about Halo 2 because of the energy swords. But Halo 2 was my favorite in terms of multiplayer as well. Yep. I mean, even an Anniversary, going back and playing the Halo 2 version of the multiplayer was by far my favorite experience.
For me, it'd be Halo 1 with a very close...
Really?
Yeah, Halo 1, I played that the most by far. Halo 1, and then Halo 3 is very close to Halo 1. So.
Well, and Halo 1 is very different from all the rest of the series because it's before they introduced vehicle damage. So you couldn't run warthogs into each other in the other games because they'd take damage and eventually blow up. But in the first game, running right into someone and flying up in the air and doing multiple flips, no big deal.
Yeah.
So it definitely had more of a goofy, freeform feel to it.
Cool. All right, Brian, you and I have the same number 2.
We do.
StarCraft 2.
StarCraft 2.
I love that game.
It's so
I
good.
love that game so much.
It's so fun that we back a couple years ago had some geek-ins where all we did was exclusively play online Halo or
12 hours
StarCraft
straight.
2. Yeah, 12 hours straight, and that's where the famous yellow base joke came from with our buddy Brandon. But it's just so fun, even if you're losing. I don't think we had one time where we were like, "I'm so frustrated, I'm losing." We were just having a fun time, building up our army, yelling at Kyle for not making Diamond League, and yelling at Brandon for not covering yellow base.
And telling me to go voids every time.
Yeah, go Voids.
JJ go voids, which was
Again-
Brian's way of saying you suck at everything
Yeah.
else. Just do that.
Just go Voids. Hey, go Voids. I'll do the other stuff.
Right.
Right.
StarCraft 2, I mean, not only is the competitive aspect wonderful, and obviously it's huge. Esports are crazy with StarCraft 2, but it's got a great story.
It's got a great campaign.
Phenomenal single player.
It just shows you Blizzard's prestige that they can do
Yep.
a game that's so good multiplayer and also not forget about the people who love story, which I do.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep. So that's Brian and I's number 2. StarCraft 2, Mark, number 2, sir.
My number 2 is Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, I played the first one, never played the second one.
They're very different. There's a reason I mentioned it as a honorable mention and didn't consider them the same thing. Team Fortress 2 was part of the Orange Box. Incredible value. Came with Portal 2,
Portal 1.
Portal 1. You know what? Yeah, you got it.
Wow.
Anyway, I mean, this game is, I mean, the famous map is 2 Fort, and that's like the perfect map out of any multiplayer map in any game ever, as far as I'm concerned.
I was going to say, like, that's the game that taught me that simplicity is key
Yes.
to this. Like, 2 Fort is the most basic map you can think of, but it's so brilliant
Yeah.
in
Yep.
that. Like, I loved being a sniper in that freaking map.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could be a heavy weapons guy and freaking jump into the water and swim underneath and come up inside their base from down below.
Exactly.
So there was really something for everybody in that map and in that game.
And I mean, the way all the different classes can work together, you've got the medic who can overcharge and give you temporary invincibility. You can pair that up with the heavy weapons guy and his, like, when he gets hyperactive and starts shooting even faster. You can take the engineer and set up turrets, like little sentry guns, and little portal platforms and ammo depots.
Engineers are so fun.
And I mean, the thing that's so good about that game isn't the moment to moment.
It's the hats.
It's the hats for sure. But it's also like I've spent 4 hours just like trying different spots to put my sentry gun to see if that's the spot to put it.
Yeah.
It's like, that one didn't work quite as good. Let me try again. And just the time flies by. I don't even
Absolutely.
care. So just that trial and error kind of play is what makes me love it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Number ones. Mark, you and I have the same number 1, and it is, of course, the best number 1.
It is the best number 1.
Objection in the court.
What is it?
Counter-Strike!
Counter-Strike. First-person shooter on the PC. Well,
That's right. It's a whole series.
I think it's on Xbox, too.
It's a whole series. However, unlike Team Fortress Classic and Team Fortress 2, they're all fairly similar. There's not a lot of gameplay differences.
I mean, regardless of the fact that I've been playing this game since I was, like, 16, this game it's honestly what made me think that I like Halo, but it's what made me think that Halo is for little girls. No offense
I could see
to
it.
any little girls that might be listening. Once I started playing Halo, and I was like, wait, what's this crap? You can hide in a corner, recharge your shields. Wait, I
Yeah.
die and I come right back? Like, what? Counter-Strike, you play in rounds, you get hit, your life goes down, and it doesn't go back up. It really, really adds, like, a tactical element because
Yes.
you want to survive. You need to survive to move on.
I would say like the biggest difference between Halo and Counter-Strike is the virtue of Counter-Strike is discipline. Mm-hmm. You can't just go running into a situation and see what happens, because then you're dead and you have to wait 3 or 4 minutes.
Absolutely.
You have to learn the map. You have to know what weapon to use. You have to go slow and be methodical. It's it's the perfect competitive game.
I agree. I still to this day still play it. I mean, you and I, whenever we're here at SoPro, that's usually the first thing you and I fire up is Counter-Strike. Granted, we play against bots. Although Mark never lets me put it on expert bots. I'm sorry.
Hey man, last time
I gotta have it as difficult as possible. I'm just saying.
I did some pretty good stuff on the live servers last time I was here.
That's true. This is the only game that I have to brag about because it's the only game that I'm good enough at to where I can play on the hardest difficulty against the computer and I can still absolutely dominate them. So that's makes me feel good because I can't do that on any other game at all.
Everyone's got that one game. They're like, that's the game.
City Skylines.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Mark and I's number 1, Counter-Strike. And Brian, your number 1 is the same as my number 4.
Yes, Heroes of the Storm, a MOBA that Blizzard did, and Blizzard did good.
You said it before. Blizzard is the company that knows how to bring people to new genres.
Yeah.
And I would never have played a MOBA if it wasn't for this.
So it kind of broke onto the scene with a little controversy because if you guys know MOBAs, they're kind of complex for new players. Dota being the most complex.
What's a lane?
Well, I mean, just the lingo and then the item gathering and knowing, all this. There's a lot of information that goes into being a MOBA. Well, Blizzard's like, we're going to simplify it a little bit to make it easy to understand and hard to master. Oh boy, did they do a good job. That game is immensely popular now, and I love it. I love the fact that anybody can step in. I mean, there's still definitely the people who are new to it, but, I mean, just playing with your friends and just laughing at,
Definitely.
Noobs is the greatest.
And I'm sure there's people who are listening right now who are probably thinking to themselves, none of you guys had League of Legends on your list?
Yeah.
There's a reason for that, because none of us really have ever had any experience with it.
I played it a little bit.
Right. Same with me. I played maybe 2 or 3 matches tops.
I played 2 or 3 matches. This is when it was early in its life cycle, and the community was an absolute joke of they're horrible. It was horrible to people who were new. And this was back before they had all the tribunals and stuff to curb that. And so if you didn't know what you were doing, you'd basically get completely trolled out of playing. And I just this isn't fun. I'm trying to learn, and people don't have the patience to realize I'm trying to learn. I just stopped playing. I mean, it was one of the worst communities I've ever been a part of. Every game I was in, I wasn't doing it right, and I was like, well, okay, tell me what to do. And they were like, no, just quit the game. And I was like, okay, fine, I don't need to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to actually play with people. It was actually up here at SoPro. My cousin and a friend of his, we played a couple of games, and honestly, I had fun. I liked it because I was playing with them. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, I would not play this on my own at home. Mostly because, I mean, when we play Heroes of the Storm,
We played together.
we play together, and I have you and Brandon telling me basically hey, you need to be here, you need to do this, and blah, blah, and I rely on that.
Right.
If I'm alone, I get bored out of my mind because I
Sure.
like talking to people while I'm playing those kind of games. But B, I just don't know what the heck I'm doing. I don't know what to look for.
Right.
I'm just not. It's not very intuitive to me.
Right.
So I'd rather have people to play with. So it's just, and the fact that Heroes of the Storm is easier to pick up
Yes.
to a new player, mostly because they force you to learn it.
Yeah.
They make you go through a tutorial, which is
Right.
great. I don't know. I just prefer it, but obviously none of us can deny how big League is.
No.
And how massive it is.
League is extraordinarily popular, and I came into it a little later than probably a lot of people. That's why I got trolled out of it. But man, when your community is that bad, I've heard it's gotten much, much better. And I've watched some games, and they are quite entertaining. But unfortunately, I just got turned off early on by nobody being patient.
I came up here for a tournament for League,
Yeah.
and it was so
Fantastic.
cool to watch. And the cool thing is that since I had played Heroes, I hadn't played League at that point.
Right.
But I knew what was going on based on just from my heroes and
Right.
stuff. So I was having a good time watching it.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody got anything else?
Negative.
I don't think so. I think we did a fantastic job. I'm going to go ahead and give me all the props.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Brian.
Well then, from SoPro Gaming here in Kansas City, this is the Frozen North signing off for episode number 69. My name is JJ,
My name is Mark.
And my name is Brian.
and as always, carry on recreationally pursuiting.
Boom.
Our theme song was made available through the Creative Commons Attribution license by Ziphoid. The song title is Radical Fanfare.